The reasoning behind run and scream is building up your vocal cords, building up your inner stamina. For the kids to be running and screaming at the same time is sort of like almost getting them ready for song. Really, you're only supposed to take one breath. You run as far as you can, screaming at the top of your lungs, and once you're out of breath and you're done screaming, and you stop right there, and then that's where you mark your spot. So, and then the next person in line tries to does the same thing. One breath, screams as loud as they could, and then once they're out of their breath, they stop. And it's just a basic, contest to see who goes the furthest and scream the loudest, I guess you could say. If you just want to do the game quickly, you could find a branch or break off some branches, whatever's available for you that day or in that area or circumstances, I guess you could say. One of the concepts for that game is just to let your inner negativity and your stress and everything that's balled up inside you, just let it go. It's a stress reliever. You could yell at the top of your lungs and nobody's going to tell you, hey, be quiet. Maybe the kid is frustrated about maybe their friends or something like that. They run along and screaming, and it makes them feel good.
When I make sticks, I cut them roughly about probably, I would say 5 to 6 inches. Using Savis berries, using choke cherries, willows. I really like working with willows because willows have a really great scent, right? I cut a stick about maybe 6 inches. I make one end sharp so it can stab in the ground. And then I put them roughly about 4 to 6 feet apart, right behind each other, 4 sticks. Then the participant stands roughly about maybe 6 to 8 feet back. So you use a ball and you stand. And the further you hit, the further stick you hit, the more points you get. So the closer stick to you, the less points you get. Now this ball can roll up to the stick, or it can just one bounce, however it may be, as long as you make that stick jump. I always put some pony beads at the end, or some type of beads or something that'll show that stick jumped. You know what I mean? When I teach throwing games, I always make sure I point. Just like a baseball player, just like a pitcher, he always points to his target. You step with your opposite foot and then you throw. I'm left-handed, so I always point with my right side. I step with my right foot and then I throw, so I can have a follow-through, right? And you always come back to as far as you can. You don't just throw it just like this. You always give it your best, right? Come all the way back, point, and then throw.
Sling ball is a racing game. So you use a ball with a tail, and you place the tail between your feet, facing away from the direction you want to go, and then you roll backwards and throw your feet above your head and release the tail of the ball, launching it behind you. And you repeat that process until you've completed the race. So the balls that we use here at the International Traditional Games Society are just hacky sacks that we've emptied and refilled with sand inside of a balloon and then sewed a tail onto. The tails that we use are braided yarn, about 8 inches long. Kids can find it difficult to get the tail of the ball firmly between their feet as they go backwards, and a lot of times they'll think they threw it really far, but they'll find that it's just on the ground at their feet. And just the initial rolling over, a lot of times they'll get really excited about it and go all the way over, and it's kind of surprising to them, but it's always fun to watch.
When I play hoop and arrow, again, I always